And I like you in a different place. I feel like you come with a different vibe on a Friday. Let me welcome my boo, my bae. I love him. He takes his coffee black. Tyler Merritt is in the building.
What up? So let me tell you why I'm in a whole new setup. I'm actually in your city. I'm in New York City right now.
What?
Yes. I am right across from the Book of Mormon, the theater where Chicago's at playing.
You're on Broadway. That literally is around the corner from Sirius XM.
I know. I'm aware. And if you were like in the building, I would just come over and kick it with you.
Yeah. Right.
But I decided like last minute to come through. Yesterday, I was in Alabama at the Southern Living headquarters, that magazine. And then I was driving back with my girlfriend and I was like, you want to go to New York City tomorrow? Because I want to see Mike Birbiglia's stand-up show, his new show. And there's a brand new show opening called And Juliet. It opened last night. I'm going to go see that tonight. So we just came to the city.
That's a rich person's life. Hey, babe, let's go to New York. And you look like you're staying in a fancy place because it got wallpaper and stuff. It's not, it's not a typical hotel.
It is not fancy. We'll say that.
Okay. Yeah, I can see. I know what fancy looks like. And I ain't listen. I was just telling my students that today, like my goal is for everybody to live their absolute best lives. I need everyone to be happy, joyful, wealthy, wise, all of the things. So live like we got to stop looking at people and coveting, but aspiring to just, in our own space. Just you feel like going to New York? Yes, let's go.
And I talk about how cancer kind of slapped me into that, I just feel like everybody doesn't need a life-changing, altering experience to push them to live their best life. Because for some people, they may have that life-altering experience and may not come out of it. You know what I'm saying? And that could be the end of that for them. So if you're listening right now and you were on the fringe or on the edge of going, do I need to go do that thing? Go do that thing. This is why you're living. Also, this is why you work. This is why you work. If you were caught up in a job right now where you were only working just to survive, and I understand economics can be that way, but no, go and breathe it all in, smell those roses, eat the cake, drink the beer, whatever y'all do.
All right. In moderation, because some of y'all overindulge, and that's how you have them episodes that leave you into life-threatening situations. I need us to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I agree with you. Some of us are waiting for that diagnosis. Don't wait for the diagnosis. Like, get ahead of it and then live. Because I think that's the other thing. Speaking of jobs, Twitter, Now, apparently, is it dead? I don't care a lot, but I know, and it's weird because there wasn't a Twitter at some point. I grew up with no Twitter, no MySpace, Facebook, none of that. And somehow I made it through adulthood, like the early part of my adulthood, and had, it was fun. Got to connect and did all of these things without a Twitter.
Well, I was glad to be on the show so I could ask you. I saw RIP Twitter trending, last night was it? And I thought anybody might know. It might be, Karen and her team. I don't know. Is it dead? Where are we?
I'm going to say it's been dead. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's been dead. But yeah, I don't know. I know that Elon Musk is a fraud. And he's somebody that he reminds me of Edison without I'm not saying Edison didn't have integrity either. I live in Jersey. But at least Edison, when he took other people's ideas, didn't try to destroy the universe,
right?
or any space. So it's like Elon Musk will take credit for things he didn't invent or create, because he can buy up things, and like with Twitter. And they forced them, rich people. I just read this story on Forbes about the hedge funds that made $250 million off of the sale of Twitter, because, once he pledged the price of it, they were able to lock in at a lower price. And so they needed that sale to be at that higher price. So they were like, oh no, you are not wiggling out of this one. We have too much riding on it. So big money is rich, because he's not rich. He's rich on paper. You're only as rich as your stock price, right? You don't have $1 trillion in the bank. You don't have several $1 billion in the bank, or else it wouldn't have been a problem to come up with the 45 billion. And I'm shame on these banks for fronting him this money, because it's all fake money until cash that out. Cash out your Tesla stock. You want to buy Twitter, cash out all your Tesla stock and buy it with actual money.
Right. There's a certain amount of privilege you have when you can just, when money is theoretical for you. And when money is a theory for you, or an idea or a construct, and it's not actually, some of us, we know what it's like to look at the bank account and go, 32 cents is what I have to my name. And when you have that kind of money to your name, you walk in a different way with a different kind of responsibility, because that 32 cents matters.
That's the insidious nature of that. I was just talking with a guy because my goal this year is to move in different circles. I need to know the Rosetta Stone of like how power actually works. So I'm like putting myself in powerful positions. And I was talking to one of my new friends yesterday, and he said, the world's going to give you the door with the obstacles in front of it, but what they don't tell you is around the corner is the path that just you come on in. So I just discovered a new path to get into things. I was like, no one ever, he was like, yeah, because if you don't know the people who are going to, so here's my goal is to learn all the things and I'm telling everything.
Right.
What happens is these secrets, it's almost like a damn, the Masons or something. There's like a 32 level process to power and wealth, and they keep it to themselves, right? I'm going to learn it and tell every secret. That's my goal. So
let me ask you, let me ask you a question. What was the first time that you got a substantial amount of money? Okay, like enough to where you were like, I feel this, right? What would you say was the biggest lesson you learned once you had that in hand?
That a third of it got to go to Uncle Sam, because then you're gonna find out at tax time that you owe money that you already spent, and you're like, where am I gonna get that money from? Nobody told you to put the taxes there. So now the habit is you get a check, a third of it, I just send it to them.
Right.
You ain't coming for me. Not gonna get hemmed up. Yeah, taxes. That's the first lesson. And I was angry about it because I worked for that money. And then that also forced me into incorporation, because then I didn't have to pay the same level of taxes as a corporation. I learned that lesson. They were like, oh, you don't have an LLC? You don't have an S? I was like, what? No one tells you these. It's not like, there's no, you don't learn this anywhere. So you have to learn it the hard way by having to fork over money you don't have and have a payment plan or get garnished. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying.
No, listen, I'm not even going to lie. When I was in my early 20s, I will never forget it. I was working at a retail store, and I had done theater already at this point. And I didn't know how to manage the money that I got from theater. So then I moved to Nashville with my band. I was working in retail. And at the time, my mom worked at a bank. I talked about it in my book. And so she had my bank account, like she could get into my bank account, right? Because like she had set it up for me so she could see it. I was at work at a retail store. I get a phone call. My mom, I pick up the phone. I say, hey, Mom, what's up? And as I'm on the phone with my mom, Karen, this guy walks in with some papers, like dressed like a cop, right? My mom goes, Tyler, what have you done? And I went, what are you talking about? She goes, what have you done? And this gentleman walks up and goes, are you Milton Tyler Merritt? I said, yes, I am. He goes, I need you to sign this. Garnished wages. My mom looked at my bank account and went, your money's gone. I was in my early 20s at that point. And I, at the time, didn't understand that the IRS does not play. And there's no arguing with the IRS. So then I spent the next 8-10 years of my life trying to rebound from that situation. Thank God I had the ability to do so. But I'm saying that as a lesson for folks driving around, listening to this all casually, like, oh yeah, I hear stories about the IRS. But that's real talk. Real talk.
Yes. The 20s. Credit cards and all of the things they don't tell you, and I'm gonna say a hard head. My mama still says it. A hard head makes a soft behind. That's my dad. Hard head makes a soft behind. We don't ask enough questions in our 20s because we know everything. And then when people try to tell us stuff, we don't listen because we know everything. And the one thing you know for sure in your 20s is that you know nothing at all. So even 20, 30-year-old vampires don't know enough. I just finished watching Interview with the Vampire, the final episode, because last week I got to interview the head vampire Louis from the Anne Rice depiction of Jacob, and I was like, yeah, she didn't factor in that like this man's 170. You're gonna know some things at 170. You can be smart as you want to be, but time could be wisdom, which Elon Musk, probably his narcissism is getting in the way. But so, he threatened people to come back to work or else, and he fired half the staff, including people that you need to actually run the business, because you didn't study the business and you can't duplicate the business. You just got a lot of money. Not really. So then the people that are still there decided that they were going to resign. So there's nobody there to run Twitter. Yes. So there's that. Listen, there was a MySpace and there wasn't. There was a Vine and there wasn't. This will come and go. There'll be a new thing. I see it's a Black woman engineer just created literally called it a Black Twitter app. I know Chris Boozy's working on a Black Twitter type of thing. I have Nubia, which is not Twitter at all. It's a space that you have to come into narrative. It's a learning space. It's the largest Africana studies classroom in the world. So if you are about that life, then Nubia is the gift of socializing with people of like minds, but it's not Twitter. So that's why I'm not like, hey, where should we go? Not here. If you're not, don't come in here with that. We doing something. We trying to build, the world where I want to live in, at least. So that's happening. But yeah, it's a fascinating space that's going on right now. And if Twitter goes, we will continue. Nothing changes.
The interesting piece about yesterday watching people talk about Twitter were the people that genuinely were saying, hey, I built something special here. I built a community. I grew my business on Twitter. And the fact that this is kind of coming and going so quickly without recognizing the story that Twitter has already told is sad. And I agree with that. For some people, it's just a place where they share things. For another people, man, that was a place where they built. They were discovered and they built things. And that's sad to me.
I mean, if I'm being honest, half the guests I reach out to are on Twitter. I DM them. I just DM'd 2 people yesterday that invited them on the show, including the young lady who did the Twitter app, Jordana. And so, yeah, no, it's absolutely, I hope I'm not being flippant or cavalier, because there was a great benefit, Arab Spring, what's going on in Iran. We're getting to see a whole lot of things play out on a platform because it was open and folk could communicate, especially when they have, like in China, no journalism, no open free press. Things were, what was going on in Taiwan, which they've completely shut down. Like, we still don't know. People disappearing all the time. But it has been a place where we at least get to connect all over the globe. It was special. The only reason why I'm glossing over it is because there's nothing we can do about Elon Musk owning it right now. And he's an absolute dumpster fire. He is equivalent, in my opinion, to Trump running the country. And so, to lean into and lament about something that we can't control, to me, energy spent, I'm not spending on that. I'm spending on building. So, yeah, he is.
And I feel like anybody that listens to you and knows you, they know that you aren't being flippant about it. And I'll say, the thing that I'll miss the most is I ain't even gonna lie. Y'all can holler at me if you want to. If somebody says to me, did you know that this happened? The first thing I do is go and check and see what's trending first on Twitter. I can't even lie. Like, because I will go over and go, if it is active now, if people are talking about it in this moment, it's going to be in the top 5 things trending, which then usually makes me go, okay, let me go and look at this thing. I'm going to miss that piece.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like right now, I'm looking, Uggs is trending. The Titans and the Packers are trending, even though I don't watch football, so I don't care.
Well, it's got a little weird over the past week, though, with Trent. Like, Twitter's gotten weird. So I feel a whole nother way about it. I ain't gonna lie. When I see you on there, I'm happy, but that's about it.
Okay, well, Elizabeth Holmes is trending because she faces 20 years in prison. So she's being sentenced today. Team, look out if the verdict comes down, what she's been sentenced to, let's go. Somebody said people don't talk enough about how Elizabeth Holmes got pregnant twice to avoid jail time. They're gonna send your pregnant ass to jail. So like Elizabeth Holmes, that don't matter to you. You know, she's pregnant. Let's be lenient. No, that's not gonna matter. You defrauded people and you're a fraud. Defrauded people. So there's that. Did you know that tomorrow, Tyler Merritt and everyone else, is national not national, it is Praise of Toilets Day globally. It's International Praise of Toilets Day. Did you know that? Tomorrow.
Did you know that?
I didn't, but I'm sensitive to it because people keep coming to do work in my house and use my bathroom. And it happened today. This was yesterday it happened. And it's like I feel like people don't go to the bathroom before they go. And you're not in my home, but like an hour and you got to go to the bathroom. Like, what is happening? I feel like I'm being tested here.
Let's talk. I'm going to ask the question everybody listening is asking. Are you talking, do people go dookie in your room, in your house?
Yeah, they asked to. I asked now because somebody actually did do that. Like, and I got to clean that up. Like, I don't trust you. That's my bathroom. You understand? But yeah, so I'm like, number one and number two. I'm like, do you need toilet paper? If you need toilet paper, man, no. Go take your ass, hold it. Gas stations up the street. No.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm one of those dudes that I can't just be taking any random place.
I agree with you. That's why it's an outrage to me. I can't even do number one. And like, I gotta hover. Even people, I'm like, I ain't sitting on nobody's toilet. I don't sit on people's toilets. Number one, but I'm just like, ugh.
The world is divided between people that can just dookie anywhere and then everybody else.
But here's what I learned today, because tomorrow is International Praise of Toilets Day. Did you know this? 4 billion people worldwide that don't have toilets, Tyler Merritt. Did you know that people do not globally? So I'm thinking the workers maybe come from places where, there's more than one bathroom. I'm going to go in every bathroom because I don't know what the deal is, but every day, more than 800 children under the age of 5 die from diarrhea, which I didn't know, linked to unsafe water, sanitation, and poor hygiene, primarily because there are no flushable toilets. So we're talking about dysentery, cholera, typhoid, intestinal worms, infections. And we're talking about all over the globe. 1 in 3 schools do not have adequate toilets. Globally, 23% of schools have no toilets at all. I didn't know this. So I'm feeling like I should be a little bit more compassionate as somebody that is blessed with multiple toilets.
Karen, I'm going to stop you now and say, the global need for toilets and hygiene, which I was aware of. I was aware of this because there are missions, crusades to go and build plumbing in places. I knew all that existed. And listen, let me be very clear. That is a real honest thing. And I'm glad this day exists. But do not get that twisted with someone coming and taking a shit in your den bathroom. All right.
Thank you.
Two different issues.
So a friend of mine was like, you being tested until you're nice to people who come into your home and you're gracious. God is testing you. I'm like, it ain't God, it's Satan. It's Satan testing me because it keeps happening.
Somebody walked in going, oh yeah, I'm good. No, I'm gonna just dookie in her house.
Yeah, excuse me, can I use your bathroom? And I'm like, what? You've been here 20 minutes fixing a sink. It's 8:30 in the morning. Did you go before you left your house? What is the problem? I don't understand it.
I'm over a friend's house and I'm like, can I use your bathroom right quick? And they'll say something like, ooh, wait, let me go make sure there's toilet paper. I'm like, nah, dog. I'm good. I'm not about to dookie in your house, bro.
Right. Who does that? But I feel like there are people that obviously do that. Do that. They do that a lot. And I think they all got a memo. I feel like there's like a circulation among contractors. Here's the address. Ask her to use the bathroom. I'm going to start putting spikes or something on my toilet. What?
You got a contractor conspiracy that like,
yeah, I feel like it. I feel like
that you can get.
Yes, I feel like it's like a Waze for doo-doo, like a Waze, like here's where you can go. She's gonna give you dirty looks, but she'll say yes because she feels God is testing her.
Yes. That's a new Twitter. That's the new Twitter.
All right. So 90%, let me give you more stats. 900 million people worldwide practice open defecation. I don't even know. I don't even want to begin to understand what that is, but 900 million people. That means they just go on the side of the road, bushes, rubbish heaps. That's like a thing. Like that's okay. You know, we in America, we should just really be grateful that we were born in America, that there's like, you know, those of you, if you have one toilet, you know, I grew up in a home with two. Very happy. Currently have 3 by myself, and I'm happy because I have a bathroom designated for people who aren't me.
Sure.
And my mama, if she come visit, she got a bathroom. But there's like the 494 million people defecating in open, like in gutters in this world. I didn't know this was a thing. So just be grateful. I just need to say that.
For the humanitarian purpose, anyone's that listening, like we ain't trying to hate. I understand there's a humanitarian issue. I know when I went to Romania years ago, and they were just like the bathroom's over there and there's a hole and you just squatted. You know, I remember at a young age learning like.
Wait, what did you do though? What did you? I'd have probably held it for long.
There's like footsteps of where you're supposed to put your foot. And then there's a hole behind it. And all you do is squat and go. Like you go in a hole, basically. And that's the setup. And I ain't proud about it. You bringing back memories now that I wasn't ready to like talk about on a Friday. But, you know, you go where you go.
Wait, how long did you stay? Wait, I'm fascinated. How long did you stay in Romania? Man, how long?
I ain't telling my Dookie stories on Sirius XM.
Come on, Tyler. Come on, Tyler. All right. Let's do. So if you read his book, I Take My Coffee Black. I was asked, I'm curious about this. Yesterday, we were talking about Mackenzie Scott, who, you know, has got a lot of money. She's giving it away. And we were talking about like Ahmad Rashad and all of the men that have been with like heiresses and billionaires, you know. And and so Don Calloway was on. He was like, Mackenzie Scott could get it. You know, like somebody out there need to take one for the team and get with, you know, I was like, this is all inappropriate. I realized, but I was wondering, you know, it's like navigating relationships. So I'm going to do my what to watch list in this hour with you, because the people that are generally on, they don't give me the proper respect for my list of things that I watch. And I imagine that Tyler Merritt is going to engage with me the way I need to be engaged with. I already know. But I'm watching a show that was on my list called Cherish the Day. It's on the OWN network. It is an Ava DuVernay.
I've read for it.
What?
Yeah, I've read for that show. Yep.
Tell me more.
It films in New Orleans. That's where it films at.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what part were you reading for?
I don't remember. I read for the second season for it was a pretty predominant role. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't start watching it because when I start watching shows, I'm in them. And at the time, I didn't have the time to invest in it. But if I remember right, tell me if I'm wrong, isn't it a storyline like is a continuation of like a relationship, like a couple, right?
Okay, so Cherish the Day season 1, and I think what Ava DuVernay did with this season 1 was masterful. So she took a relationship and took us on a journey. Each episode was a different timeline in that relationship as they broke up, came back together. Cicely Tyson was in that. She played, an older actress before she made transition. At the last episode, Quincy Jones showed up for a party for her. I mean, it was masterful. So we got to see this couple like a moment in time in their life. And the next episode was another moment in time. What Ava DuVernay did this season was take a couple starring Joy Bryant and Henry Simmons. Beautiful. And they were high school sweethearts. He apparently cheated on her right before the homecoming or whatever. They hadn't seen each other for like 15 years. And they see each other again. And he's divorced. She's not married. and they come back together. So this is a it's not the same.
Sure.
It's not the same kind of, it's different. It's more straightforward. But what she did this year is that she created this season an ode to Nikki Giovanni, a poem inspired Nikki Giovanni's poem. Now it's Sade, of course, Cherish the Day, and the music is in it and all of that, which is beautiful. But this Nikki Giovanni poem, really, really powerful, and it is at the center of each episode. Is a lot. It's just like she thinks deeply about her art, and I love that. But I was bringing it up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't mean, but when I'll tweet you later about what the role was I read for. But I know the show, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. I just haven't got into it yet. So I love that you're watching it. Go ahead. You were saying?
Yeah. So I was the relationship. And I was thinking about this because we had an extensive conversation yesterday about the last 2 days Wakanda forever and all of this, and you coming through your cancer diagnosis to jump into this space where you've got a girlfriend, you're of a certain age, she's of a certain age, I'm imagining she's not in her 20s, and is it different for you because you write extensively about your relationships and you being a dog and having your first girlfriend cheat on you and it turned you into something